Biden gave a fiery speech in front of a blood-red building, and he might have invaded Poland.
We found out that democracy is under threat by MAGA Republicans just in time for the new Babylon Bee Guide to Democracy.
The Rings of Power is officially out, and we have thoughts.
We asked our listeners for their favorite jokes, and a small percentage of them were okay.
All this and more on
The Bee Weekly.
So if the first thing you do when you wake up is look at your phone like me, then why don't you try this? Instead of checking social media, open the Abide app and start your day in the Spirit and in the peace of Christ. Abide is the #1 Christian meditation app. Abide users report less stress, lower levels of anxiety and depression, and better sleep too. So start your day with Abide's daily meditation. Based on biblical scripture, these audio meditations will center you and draw you closer to Christ. For a limited time, our listeners will get 25% off a premium subscription when you text Babylon to 22433. Get started now with 25% off a premium subscription by texting Babylon to 22433. You'll get additional stories and meditations, premium music, soothing sounds, and more. Support this show and get 25% off by texting Babylon to 22433.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bee Weekly. I'm hanging out with Jarrett and Brandon today.
Hello.
Hello.
And it's going to be a fun day. We're going to talk about our new book, The Babylon Bee Guide to Democracy, which is out in bookstores everywhere. This is a book where we talk about how America's constitutional republic works, or as Democrats call it, democracy.
It's okay, they just don't know any better.
But it's a lot of fun. We put a lot of love into it, so we're going to talk about the process of writing it. And this is the first time you've been published, right?
Actually, it is. This is
As an author, artist, whatever.
my official debut into the published author realm.
That's cool. That's
I
awesome.
wrote approximately 1/7 of the book, and I'm very proud of it.
That's a very specific fraction.
Yeah, you figured that out.
But
It's roughly. I don't know exactly. I didn't calculate every single. I didn't do a word counter.
But please go check it out. We put a ton of love into this thing. There's so many crazy illustrations in this thing. And if you had the Babylon Bee Guide to Wokeness, which was a bestseller last year, this has all the same fun stuff. It's actually much longer. I was surprised how much thicker this one was than the Wokeness book.
The next one's going to be twice as long.
And then, oh geez, we're setting up
committed to
a high standard here. But it's fun to see your work out in the world. So we'd love if you guys would support the Babylon Bee and pick that up. We're going to talk about that a little more later. Hey guys, we'd like you to pray for Travis, who is our resident Game Corner host. And we got a comment from Christian H here on the YouTube channel who said, I really like the Game Corner.
We all really like the game.
We do like the Game Corner. We'd like it to continue. Pray for Travis. He had an injury, not life-threatening, but just pray for him. And he should be back here hopefully next week. So.
Travis did a lot of the art in the Democracy book.
He did.
Yeah.
Most of the stick figures, I think, was his.
The stick figures was him, yes.
So
We had our previous stick figure artist leave suddenly at the Babylon Bee, and all of a sudden I was like, does anybody else here know how to draw stick figures? And Travis said, I have a face. I can give it a try. And
stick figures.
they're like,
He drew those.
really crazy good. So, all right, so pray for Travis, and hopefully he'll be back here next week.
This is Subscriber Dare.
We're moving on to Subscriber Dare. This is from Grant Fikes.
yikes.
Yikes.
What does Fikes have for us?
From Grant Fikes, Subscriber Dare. I live in Texas, a state that doesn't appear to have a Sizzler, and I don't know that I'd even heard of the restaurant before Sizzler Facts debuted. Thus, I find Sizzler Facts boring. You know what's an amazing restaurant chain that Texas has that California doesn't? What a Burger. Do one Whataburger fact, and I'll renew my lapsed subscription for 1 month.
Then he says gracias.
What, you renew a lap subscription for one? So we're doing this for $5.
And he also dissed Sizzler.
And he does Sizzler, and he thinks Whataburger's
Should we
good.
just turn down the
I
subscriber?
don't know if we want Grant's subscriber money.
I'm not sure.
I think so.
He's not
Doesn't
really
have good-
Babylon Bee material.
No, you're not. It's not you. Well, it's not us. It's you. Have you guys had Whataburger?
I've not had Whataburger.
No,
I
never
have
had
heard good things. I cannot talk today.
It is essentially a Carl's Jr. level restaurant, and it's not that good.
You've had it.
I've had it.
Okay.
I've had it a few times because every time I go there, all my Texan friends, oh, you gotta get Whataburger, and it's not. I don't understand. I assume it's similar to when people come to California and people are hyping In-N-Out.
Exactly.
Best burger I've ever had,
Which it's not.
etc.
It's really not.
Good.
It's a good,
very good
it's,
for a
it's,
fast food
I think
you
burger.
have to frame it
and
correctly.
For the price,
And
it's definitely the best.
I was about to add that for the price,
The
yes.
quality is much higher than the average.
So Whataburger
Whopper.
is what an average burger.
What an average burger.
So that is your Whataburger fact, Grant.
Grant Fikes.
Just that it's
Goodbye.
It's average. Glad to have had your business up until now.
Well, if you're reading your new Babylon Bee Guide to Democracy and you need something to drink coffee out of while you eat it, while you read it, then
Did you say yeet?
well, I said while you eat it, like while you eat the book, but that's not correct.
While you consume it.
Then get this Conservative Tears.
Delicious. Everything's made more delicious than this.
Are you drinking Conservative Tears?
I am drinking conservative tears of joy due to the abortion of Roe v. Wade on June 24th.
You know it's a good product because we have to explain it a lot.
Well, that's the little thing on the bottom that'll let you know what it is. Yeah, there's like
It's Conservative Tears of Joy.
yeah, there's some
Wade.
small writing at the bottom.
We also have our Clarence Thomas Hope T-shirts, posters, stickers. Go check those out. I went into Target the other day, and I forgot that I had been wearing that from our recording. And I was like walking around, and I was getting looks and stuff, and I'm like, people in masks, a lot of Target employees in masks were kind of looking at me. And then I realized I had the Clarence Thomas Hope on. So
It's like that time that I walked into a Target wearing my Ted Cruz serial killer T-shirt. It's not about Ted Cruz being a serial killer, which he is, but I just have a T-shirt with a lot of Ted Cruz's faces plastered all over. And
I always like the I identify as vaccinated. It's such a firebrand. You know, you walk out and people get really offended really quickly. Wear that out.
well, we launched a game show this week that is inspired by some features in our Babylon Bee Guide to Democracy book. It's called Peaceful Protest or Insurrection, the game show.
they're very hard to determine which one's which sometimes. So
Yeah.
So
this will help you.
you have to guess which one. So let's go to the game show. I'm Regan Filibust. Welcome back to Peaceful Protest or Insurrection. It's the game show where you guess whether it's a peaceful protest or an insurrection. It's pretty much what it sounds like. Let's play. Frank, welcome back to the show.
Hi.
You have already won $125,000, or 1 pound of beef so far. Let's move on to the next question. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Question number 13. Is this a peaceful protest or an insurrection?
Oh, man.
Man, I think you mean non-birthing person.
Sorry. Non-birthing person. This one's a toughie. I think with all the fire, justice, and there seems to be like a sense of justice going on there. I'm gonna go with peaceful protest, final answer.
I'm sorry. That's correct.
Oh, yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Question number 14. For $500,000 or 1 tank of gas. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Is this a peaceful protest or an insurrection? Boy?
Sorry, underage. Person who identifies as a future non-birthing person. Whew. This one's really hard. I'm gonna phone a friend.
Okay. Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
Is this a joke to you?
No. I'm sorry, Mr. Filibust. I just like to call my friend Cammy.
Okay, let's get Cammy on the line.
Hi, Cammy?
Hello.
It's Frank.
Well, hi, Frank.
I'm on peaceful protest or insurrection, and I really need your help. Okay, there's a mob burning down a courthouse, and I need to know if it's a peaceful protest or an insurrection.
Frank, what courthouse is it?
I'm not sure. It looks like maybe Portland.
Are they protesting that they're losing the right to kill babies, or is it something
Well,
else?
it kind of looks like.
I'm speaking. Well, is it that they can't kill babies, or is it something else?
I think Kavanaugh. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's the babies thing.
Some people think we shouldn't kill babies. Babies are like small humans, and that's bad. So if it's like that, that's a peaceful protest.
Okay, well, Cammy seems pretty sure of herself. I'll go with peaceful protest. Final answer.
You really stepped in it this time. You moron. You absolute exhaust pipe. Because you just won $500,000!
$500,000, everybody!
Now, for the grand prize of $1 million or 1 week's worth of groceries for a family of 4. Is this a peaceful protest or an insurrection?
Oh, man. I mean, a gender-neutral individual. Well, it's not quite as fiery as all the peaceful protest people, but I'm not destroying quite as much. There's that guy with the buffalo hat, which is kind of scary. I'll go with insurrection.
You stupid Windex-sniffing pea-brain tub of lard! Were you dropped on your head as a child? Did your mom watch Teletubbies when you were in the womb? Is Sammy Hagar your favorite Van Halen singer? Is Kokomo your favorite Beach Boys song? I just can't believe you would be so idiotic as to answer correctly and win $1 million!
I got $1 million! I can pay off some of my student loans now!
Now settle down, everyone, because we have one bonus question. How will the government spend their half of your $1 million?
Wait, what?
Is it A, Argentinian clown college, B, providing cocaine to Japanese quail, C, paying senior citizens to play World of Warcraft, or D, all of the above?
Can we sake back to the government getting half my money?
I'm gonna need an answer, Frank.
A, I guess?
Finally, a good answer. But you're wrong! Ha! It's D, all of the above. Congratulations. This has been Peaceful Protest or Insurrection, which is the game show where you already saw the show, you know what the rules are. Join us next week where we steal a cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory for justice. It seems like they'll run out of material after a couple episodes. It's not quite as evergreen as Jeopardy or...
I'm not sure. There's a lot of peaceful protests to work with.
But there's only one insurrection.
Well, it depends on who wins the election.
You wouldn't run out of peaceful protest images. You will run out of insurrection images at some point.
2024. Today's episode is sponsored by the 2022 Crenshaw Youth Summit. Have you ever wanted to hear from the real Wolf of Wall Street, the founder of Prager University, the CEO of the Babylon Bee, all at one conservative youth summit? Because all these speakers will be live in Houston, Texas on October 8th and 9th for Congressman Dan Crenshaw's third annual Crenshaw Youth Summit. Every year, the former Navy SEAL and rising conservative star brings together leaders in conservative media, politics, business, and culture to speak to more than 2,000 young conservatives from all over the country. This year, our very own Seth Dillon, CEO of the Babylon Bee, will impart his profound wisdom to attendees alongside Jordan Belfort, Dennis Prager, Dave Rubin, JP Sears, and many more. Don't get FOMO from your friends who got to hear from this once-in-a-lifetime lineup. Get your tickets at CrenshawYouthSummit.com and use code B at checkout to get 50% off student tickets and reserve your spot today for the Crenshaw Youth Summit October 8th and 9th in downtown Houston. This ad is paid for by Dan Crenshaw Victory Committee.
Well, as always, we're going to go through the news, and it was a busy week for Joe Biden. Yeah. So we'll just take turns reading the headlines. Yeah. Now, all these headlines come from the Babylon Bee, and I think all of these were published on Friday. So one very busy day for Joe Biden. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Biden condemns fascism in speech while also debuting attractive new mustache.
Mm-hmm. Biden rejected from Austrian art school.
Biden also published an autobiographical memoir called My Struggle.
That's interesting.
I wonder if they have translations in other languages.
I'd like to read that.
Yeah. French.
I hear the German's actually the best translation.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Biden announces new program for patriotic youngsters called Biden Youth.
Or Biden Uden. It's actually another way to say it.
Is that it?
Yeah. So Biden establishes secret police.
Right.
Is that not right?
Isn't that's a Biden Uden?
Was it Hitler Uden?
Uden means something else.
In French?
I thought it was Hitler Uden. Am I wrong?
I think so.
Why are you talking about Hitler?
I could be.
Oh, I don't know. That's what we were. You're right. I'm sorry. Biden unit.
This is
Yeah.
How did they say Hitler Youth?
Jung is young. So I don't know what youth is, though.
Yeah, but there's like the whole. What did they call it in German? That's what I want to. We don't have to talk about this
Yeah, we
anymore.
don't.
I don't know why we're
I don't
suddenly.
know. There's no.
I just don't understand why we're talking about Hitler because we're talking about what.
There's
happened
no
with
connection.
Biden.
Anyways,
There's no connection. Biden establishes secret police.
wow. Read for the first time. Biden abolishes office of president and names self Supreme Führer.
Why the German?
I think it's just a fancy title.
Supreme
All
Father.
those words that just gets out there in the
Supreme
world.
Father.
Biden opens camps in which to concentrate political dissidents and other undesirables. Which is spelled wrong, and I'm wondering if it's spelled wrong in the
Undesirables.
actual article now.
Undesirables.
Okay, well that's not good.
Biden signs non-aggression pact with Poland.
That's good. He's pro peace.
I'm glad he likes Poland. Like that.
Biden announces invasion of Poland.
It's a weird,
Not so good.
weird couple days.
Okay,
Maybe he did it peacefully, so.
peaceful invasion.
A peaceful invasion. Mostly peaceful invasion.
France surrenders to Biden.
Biden announces strategic alliance with Mussolini and Emperor Hirohito.
Biden forces stalled 12 miles from Moscow.
Fell victim to one of the classic blunders, getting involved in a land war
In Asia.
And finally, Biden swallows cyanide capsule in underground bunker. Sad.
It was a rough week. It was
That's
it was
a rough day.
happened.
It was
A lot
one day.
happened. Yeah.
One day. And maybe we can put up the screenshot of the website from that day. You guys can pull that up. And we can just say it's a historic day in Babylon Bee history. So,
He left behind a dog that loved him and a burgeoning art career.
yeah.
That's right. It's sad. Or he escaped to the Alps.
But one thing you can say about him, though,
I think he might be on the moon.
He might be in South America.
he did follow his heart.
He did.
And I think that
He watched a lot of Disney before he did
That's
all this.
good.
Yeah. Followed his heart.
we also have a YouTube sketch about paying off college students' loans. There's a girl that comes to the door, and there's an attractive-looking man in the house.
Average to low grade looking man,
Yeah.
I would say.
I'll take that.
Well, he has banquet beer too. It's
And
you
tries to convince him to pay her $10,000 for going to college. So check that out on our YouTube channel. YouTube.com/thebabylon.
worth seeing. It's worth seeing.
And now it's time for our banger of the week.
Banger of the week.
After using FBI to suppress son's crimes and raid political rivals' home, Biden warns democracy in danger.
That's not satire. That's real news.
That's the real deal.
It's just,
I like his face.
that is, I do like his face.
Look at his face.
He's yelling.
He watched Dwight Schrute's speech class.
He's pounding on the,
That's right.
the wheels of, what does he say? The wheels of history are coated with the blood of those. My favorite subversion in that episode is how people actually like the speech. And he's like,
They're all cheering. Yeah.
you think, oh no, it's going to be bad. And everyone's like, yeah. All right, but not all Babylon Bee headlines will be laughed at by all people at all times.
Which brings us to the bomb of the week.
Bomb of the week.
Child announces plan to remain in Halloween costume for next 8 weeks.
This is autobiographical. This would have been autobiographical for me.
Where did that photo come from? That's very specific.
It was on Shutterstock.
I know, but like a child in a Halloween costume with like a solidarity fist.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's why I can't believe this article didn't do that.
Is that really a stock photo? We didn't take that one?
No, yeah, it was just a stock photo.
Somebody
I-
was thinking ahead.
I tried to find a photo of one of my kids because they'll put on their Link costume like 2 months before Halloween and never take it off. So this is my joke that nobody likes.
No, I like it. I think
Thank
it's
you.
my kids do the
Well,
same
you
thing.
liked it at least.
Well, Liam did. Some of the other kids don't, but
Yeah. But, oh well. You know, you guys need to get a better sense of humor. It is time for Sizzler Facts. 22 weeks ago, we debuted a new feature on the podcast called Sizzler Facts. And here is today's Sizzler Fact.
In 1983, there was a butterfly shrimp crisis due to El Nino, which caused a series of storms and raised the temperature of the water in the shores of South Africa, disrupting the butterfly shrimp population. Butterfly shrimp is a species of shrimp, and not just a specific cooking method, and because of this, Sizzler had to switch to tiger shrimp for a period of time. which is subsequently now also endangered. This has been Sizzler Facts. And now it's time for Sizzler Comment.
Sizzler comment.
Sizzler comment.
It's Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day. Had this to say about Sizzler. The return of Guinness World Records. Much better than Sizzler Facts. If for no other reason that it annoys Kyle.
What?
Too bad the dare came from someone who thinks Age of Empire is better than
Age of Empires 2.
Oh, so there we go. I'm sorry, kid. It's very small. I have the eyes of an
It
eagle.
is small.
The Age of Empire 2 is better than the Age of Empires 3.
Spoken like someone who doesn't know what Age of Empires is. Get the
That was a
Age of
strange Sizzler
It was
comment.
kind of disjointed. The Guinness Book of World Records.
Likes the Guinness Book of World
Yeah.
Records. Doesn't like Sizzler Facts, but only likes Guinness World Records because it annoys me.
And
But didn't like the person who said that because they like Age of Empires 2 better.
and apparently you annoy them for not
I think-
liking Age of Empires 2.
Yeah.
I think
No,
we've been
not
getting
me.
a lot. We've been getting a lot of complaints about Sizzler Facts lately, and I think we should do something about it.
What do you have
I
in
mean,
mind?
like punish the people that
Like
complain, or
maybe we do like a full episode of just Sizzler Facts for them.
would
Maybe
go over really
we
well.
just double the size of two Sizzler Facts per week.
Sizzler song.
I was driving on the.
It's an idea.
I was driving all the way out to Wyoming, and I passed by the Sizzler in Provo, Utah.
Yeah, that's right outside the SDZ.
The Sizzler time zone.
Dead Zone.
Oh, it's Sizzler Dead Zone. It's right on the edge.
It's literally right on the edge.
But it was in Provo too. So for our Mormon friends, that's probably where they go to Sizzler.
They have caffeine-free Coke. They're
I wonder if it is
mountains.
different. They probably have different stuff.
Yeah. They have a few more choices than we do.
They do.
Of wives?
Wives, planets. There's a lot of things.
Well, if you don't like Sizzler Facts, we are going to open a camp in which to concentrate you. This has been Sizzler Comments.
Friends, if you're wondering how you're going to afford to prepare for the coming food shortages, here's some good news for you. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest preparedness company, wants to help American families get prepared and save money at the same time. That's why they're knocking $250 off their popular 3-month emergency food kit. This is the lowest price in over 3 years, and it won't last long. To save $250 per kit, go to preparewithb.com. My Patriot Supply stocked up on food in spring when prices were low, and now they're passing the savings on to you. Don't miss this. There are only a few more days left to save $250 off 3-month energy food kits that you need. The kit contains enough meals for 3 months per person. Wouldn't you rather be eating comfortably instead of standing in government food lines? I would. So do the right thing and take advantage of this rare $250 savings per kit. Go to preparewithb.com right now. preparewithb.com.
All right, well, a couple weeks ago, we did our favorite jokes on the podcast, and we are now going to read to you some of your favorite jokes. So you get to write jokes, send them to us, and we will read them back to you.
This is a great segment already.
Favorite jokes.
All right, here is one from Austin Robertson, who's the voice of the Babylon Bee. Two atoms walk into a bar. One stops suddenly and says, "Oh no, I've lost an electron." The other one says, "Are you sure?" And the first one says, "I'm positive."
Oh no.
Groan.
I wanted you to read that as Austin. But, oh well.
Austin.
Sorry.
I can read this one. Mr. Senders, 38.
I think it's Mrs. Ender.
Mrs. Ender, 38, says, 2 hunters are out in the woods when one of them collapses. He doesn't seem to be breathing and his eyes are glazed. The other guy whips out his phone and calls 911. He gasps, "My friend is dead. What can I do?" The operator says, "Calm down. I can help. First, let's make sure he's dead." There's a silence. Then a shot is heard. Back on the phone, the guy says, "Okay, what now?"
Because he shot the front.
Because he, yeah,
From Captain Waffle. A young woman went to her doctor complaining of pain. "Where are you hurting?" asked the doctor. "You have to help me," said the woman. "I hurt all over." "What do you mean, all over?" asked the doctor. "Be a little more specific." The woman touched her right knee with her index finger and yelled, "Ow, that hurts!" Then she touched her left cheek and again yelled, "Ouch, that hurts too!" Then she touched her right earlobe and said, "Ow, even that hurts!" The doctor examined her thoughtfully for a moment and gave her diagnosis. "You have a broken finger."
Is it weird that I felt like your doctor was a samurai?
"You have a broken finger."
Oh no!
Oh no!
Here's another from Captain Waffle. Favorite from a friend. Your mom was so old she was there when God said, "Let there be light," and your mom was so fat that nothing happened.
Oh, yeah.
And he expects a heresy jar.
Heresy jar. Okay, from Gamazing, or G-mazing. Why do you never see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it.
They are really
They're
good.
super
I like
good.
that joke.
I've
That's a
noticed
good
that. Yeah.
What was, from Fraser Nutzov, what was Hitler's favorite tropical getaway? Answer, Sieg Isle.
Seagull.
Seagull. That's
Okay.
it's right off the coast of Morocco.
Right now I see Jarrett. And right now I see Kyle.
Seagull.
Seagull.
You guys see Guile over there?
I see him.
Big Bear Hat says, "What's green and has wheels?" Grass. I was just kidding about the wheels.
I
That's
do
a good
like
one.
that
I like
That's a
that
good one.
I like how Jarrett gets the small text one again.
Every
let's
time.
see. That's
Can you
good.
guys
I've got
zoom
the
this a
eyes.
touch?
I've got my my eyes on. Okay,
He
there we
gets
go.
the hunting themed ones. as
Oh, yeah,
well.
I keep getting the hunting ones. Okay, from Cameron Conrad, 2 weeks ago. Said a man was out hunting in the woods. Suddenly, a bear tore through the foliage and opened its mouth wide, revealing many sharp teeth. Trembling with fear, the man dropped to his knees and cried, "Oh Lord, please make this bear a Christian." Whereupon the bear also dropped to his knees and said, "Oh Lord, please bless this food that I'm about to eat."
I remember this one being with lions and missionaries.
Yeah,
We told you this growing up.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
All right, guys. Well, some of those jokes were acceptable. Now we're moving on to our discussion of the rings of power. Is it the rings of wokeness or the rings of goodness? We're about to find out.
Is Dan coming in?
All right, so the Rings of Power came out this week. It's Amazon's billion-dollar Lord of the Rings show. I've been opposed to it from the get-go. No, let me backtrack on that. When it was announced, I was cautiously optimistic. Said it might be cool to see that age on the screen. And then when they first released any material from it, I was immediately completely uninterested. I will not be watching it.
See, when they first announced it, I was instantly skeptical. And I can't say when they released any media because I don't watch
just didn't
trailers and
follow
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
You don't. I was very excited initially, and then I kind of started realizing that it was Amazon that was making it. And
So as soon
then-
as- yeah.
Yeah.
I was even like when they had all that news about the intimacy coordinator, and they were like intimacy coordinator. I was.
That's right.
Well, but even from them, then I was like, like let's just wait and see how this shakes out. I was still a little. I was trying to, not play my hand so soon, and then
Well, the breakdown too. I think that went out to actors said something about like must be willing to do full
Right,
nudity and stuff.
right.
But I
Which,
wonder
then you're
if
like,
it-
it's going to be Game of Thrones.
yeah, but I wonder how many projects at the early stages they're just not sure what's going to be in it, which isn't a good sign for a Lord of the Rings show. Don't get me
not.
wrong.
That should never
They should
even
have
come
known.
into consideration.
I'm not disagreeing.
I think it's safe to say that
Yeah.
all of us were highly
skeptical.
skeptical of the show.
So every trailer I saw looked like bad CGI. It looked like, they were really emphasizing weird elements of Tolkien's world. And then every interview with the most concerning to me, every interview with the showrunners, they did not understand Tolkien's themes. They kept saying, "We are really hitting on Tolkien's themes of diversity and inclusion and different races coming together to fight evil." And I'm like, that's not even in the top 20 of Tolkien's themes. That was kind of my. So it's come out, and now it sounds like it's a mixed bag. It's
So
not as bad.
the show
so
is
far,
officially
as
out.
of the second episode, it's not as bad as some people thought.
No.
The show is officially
I
out,
don't think so.
and
Yeah.
even though all of us were skeptical to begin with, will the Tolkien heretics please raise their hands?
So you're saying
People who enjoyed the
people
show.
that kind of like the show.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm in that camp. In fact, I found myself. I watched the 2 episodes.
For the blind or the
like
audio
3
listeners, Jared is raising his hand. And he is wearing a gray hat.
I'm wearing a gray
So is
and a
Brandon.
green and a gray
Brandon's
shirt
raising his hand.
and a gray shirt.
Dan and Kyle are not.
And
Kyle.
Brandon's wearing a purple
But
shirt.
also, Kyle has not seen the show.
And will not, because I will not.
Okay, so the first 2 episodes I watched, and I found myself last night wishing that there was another episode I could watch.
Kyle's kind of right in terms of like just what he saw from the trailers. He's right that it's not Tolkien.
Right.
That like any element of the trailer that you got, that 1-minute trailer, there's nothing in that trailer to get you, if you're a Tolkien fan, if you read the books, if you're into the Silmarillion, there was no element in that trailer where you can point to and be like, oh, that's from the book. Oh, that's what Tolkien wrote. Like so that was the expectation that they set up in the trailer, is like that we're doing our own thing, we're doing our new thing, we're going to write the book that Tolkien never wrote. And after the first 2 episodes are out now, that's exactly what you got.
I vividly remember being in junior high when the Fellowship of the Ring trailer came out and going, those are all the scenes
Absolutely.
from the book.
Yes.
I
Like, it
remember that
is-
feeling seeing the trailer for the first time and jumping out of my chair in a room by myself. And
Yeah. Well, to be fair though, like the percentage of the population that's read the Silmarillion and been able to sort of come up with some kind of storyline through the Silmarillion is like a very small percentage of the population.
Yeah.
So Dan is absolutely right, and I would like to caveat all my future statements with the understanding that this is not Tolkien.
Yeah.
This is
So
not
yeah,
Tolkien.
so you
not.
have to set it aside. You say, here's what Tolkien's world is. Here's what Tolkien's characters are.
Yep.
Okay, this show is not that. Let's set that aside.
Yep.
That's we all agree. Now, is this a good show?
I'm with you.
But I also,
feel
like-
the same way.
And I think
for me,
I come down
can't-
on a different line than you guys.
Yeah, you probably do.
And for me, I can't even separate it. Like, if you're going to put
Yeah.
Tolkien's name on a show.
Of course. And I totally understand that. I mean, like with Mission Impossible, I know a lot of people really enjoy the new Mission Impossible movies. I cannot watch them because of the utter disrespect from the first
Like
movie.
to the original.
Yeah, from the
to the first movie.
For the first movie.
Well, the
Well,
movie
with
was
the
a
TV show.
It was an adaptation of a TV show.
Yeah, right.
Yes, but because I was a huge fan of the TV show.
you were? Okay, so
And
yeah,
so the first movie like just trounced on that, and I was like,
And the show was an adaptation
cannot-
of Shakespeare.
I cannot enjoy this anymore. So I understand that.
It was much ado about nothing.
So I understand that, and obviously I hold Tolkien in much higher regard than Mission Impossible. So I absolutely understand
Quote of the
that.
show. Can we screenshot these segment 2 notes and put them on the screen for all our viewers to see, because they crack me up? Segment 2, Rings of Power discussion. Everyone is a woman.
This is my.
Dan
this
is entering the room.
No, wait. This is my criticism. Actually, I think
Did you write that? Who wrote Everyone is a Woman?
I didn't write that, but that's what we were talking about yesterday. I don't mind having female storylines, but when every storyline is a woman, like the prime character is a woman, and we have 4 disjointed storylines, like you were saying, like, and they're all like female driven, which I'm fine with. Like, that's okay. But honestly,
That happens in real life. And so, like, so far in the first 2 episodes, 2 people have been killed, and both of them were by women. And this made me think about it. And it's like, you see some of the seeds of wokeness coming out, some of the seeds, but it's still within what I have just coined the Wokerton window. Like, it's still possible. It's still possible. And one of those kills is by Galadriel, who I think is pretty cool.
Galadriel could kill anybody.
Yeah, who I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, like,
wouldn't.
it's...
I mean, Galadriel is
Dan?
not, though, like physically, like she's not a warrior necessarily. And you would have to, she's powerful on her own. She could just wipe them out, like with her mind bullets or whatever.
But they totally made her character into a Mary Sue character. So like if you saw the trailer or the stuff that they released before the show came out, where they launch her off a sword and she goes and takes down the troll all by herself with like seemingly no effort. They basically, and this is after the troll has like wiped out like 3 or 4 other elite elven warriors. You get this idea. It's like, well, why didn't they just have Galadriel go in there first? Like, it's like, why are they even trying?
Yeah, she was in another room. I mean, granted,
guess,
she was not there when the snow troll showed up.
Yeah.
But also, like, you look
Because
at a guy
they're
like,
such good
like
writers.
Legolas, who obviously is probably one of the elitist warriors.
Well, I had the same
He was
problem
able
with
to take down those trolls. Like,
I had the same
But it was
problem with the Peter Jackson
that was
trilogy.
the movie. That was the adaptation from the movie, which isn't like what's in the book.
Yeah, so Peter Jackson had Legolas kind of shield surf his way through the trilogy and take down whole elephants all by himself. I had
so
the
rad.
same problem with Legolas. I saw people
Yeah.
that Legolas was trending on Twitter because people were saying, "Oh, you guys are a bunch of misogynists. You just don't like strong female characters." Look,
Right.
Legolas did this, and you guys weren't complaining. It's like, no, I was complaining because I hated those scenes because it totally takes you out of the movie. It's like, oh, here's a 30-second clip of Legolas just being like Superman right
and
now.
there's power creep
Right.
throughout the trilogy, where in the first one, it takes the entire party to take that troll down. And he
Right,
gravely injures Frodo,
Right.
and there's just, all of them are trying to get this troll
That's
down.
with Aragorn and
Yeah.
Boromir.
And by the last movie, it's more, now he's like surfing on elephant trunks and stuff.
Power creep's another term I use for Joseph Biden.
Power creep.
He's a power creep.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, let me be clear
Board
too.
gaming
It's not
term.
that I
video
don't
game.
want to come off as a misogynist because I feel like
But there's just so many women in the show, and it just bugs me.
I just hate them so much.
But what you're saying though, what you're
No.
getting at is, I think that every subplot right now,
Yeah.
the strong
Yeah.
or the competent or the right character
Are women
are women
or
only.
black?
Thank you for
Yeah,
Dan.
correct.
Thank you
Black.
for dansplaining
Yeah.
my motives. I'm just kidding. No, I do like because, for instance, I hated Captain Marvel, and I think for the same reasons everyone else did. But I loved Wonder Woman, I love Wonder Woman as a powerful figure that was connected to other people, that had this relationship with other folks, that had a good motive for actually doing what she did. And, Captain Marvel was just like totally disconnected. There's no reason.
Agreed.
No relationships. And I feel like Galadriel's kind of like Captain Marvel a little bit right now. She's got only like this platonic friend that she doesn't really like. Elrond, who she's mad
Is
at. all the time.
Celeborn in the show?
No,
Is he going to be?
Celebrimbor
Is he going to be in the show?
I don't think so. I don't know. He's just not. He's not there at all. He's not anywhere in the show.
And at this point in the time, and I know they screwed up the timeline, but was she married to Celeborn?
There's just too many men already, so they
had to like.
Racing.
They had
And
to
also-
make
and
Elrond
also-
all
See,
men.
Galadriel's too busy. She's commanding the armies of the north,
Yeah.
and she's fighting the evil. She doesn't have time for getting married. And
You mean
But also-
the four elves that she travels with? The armies
Also,
of
I have
North.
the theory that since Celebrimbor is such a crucial part to this story, they don't want too many similar names to confuse people.
so, do you guys think that the first 2 episodes that are now out, and by the time this comes out, there'll be another episode out in episode 3? Do you think that they are well written subplots?
Yeah, so let's separate it, like you said, let's separate it from Tolkien.
Now it's the show.
Is the show good?
So
we have 4 subplots that are going on.
I know a lot of people are complaining about the writing, and to be completely honest, I'm not going to say it's good writing. I just didn't notice that it was bad, and possibly because I thought the shots were beautiful. Like
It was beautiful.
It's visually just
Very stunning.
gorgeous.
I have
when
some
the
examples.
Dude walks over the hill and you have the 2 trees. I thought that was just
It
gorgeous.
is totally gorgeous. Yeah, I agree.
And some of the shots are a little Zack Snyder-y, like little dioramas, like really dramatically lit dioramas. But
Yeah, I thought it was gorgeous.
what they're
you
going
say
for.
Zack Snyder
they're-
like it's a bad thing.
there are some beautiful shots. I'll
tell you the thing about the beauty of it, which was great, but it's also like too much of a good thing. Like, every single city that they go to is this vast, like amazing landscape of incredible towers and things like that. Everything's beautiful. And so you don't have I guess the Hobbit world is a little bit primitive, but I think everything else is just like really well developed and stuff like that. So I think that in the Lord of the Rings, one of the beautiful parts is that when you get to Gondor finally, after the whole, it's like, whoa, Gondor is incredible. You get to Rivendell. Oh, wow. But it's like these like moments, like it's not every scene is
That's
set.
difference of the ages too, because that would have
Yeah.
been more germane to the third age, I think.
Yeah, you're probably
And then
right.
in this show, they kind of take away that grandeur of like we're walking across a map and we finally get to this
Yeah.
place. They just fast travel everywhere. So they're in Lindon, which is like the elf capital, and then the very next scene, all of a sudden they're in Eregion, which is like hundreds of miles away. And then they fast travel again. They go to Khazad-dûm, and then part of the sloppy writing is that Elrond and Celebrimbor they walk the 2 of them to Khazad-dûm, and they just show up in the same clothes. They have no equipment. They have no food. They walked
there.
They're just there. It's like how did they get there? Like,
They walked from
Eagles.
the
The
yeah,
Eagles
and it was
brought them,
It
yeah.
took no time. And then the other this is the one bad writing piece that I really hated is they showed up at Khazad-dûm, and then Elrond just goes in and is like, yeah, I'll meet you back home.
Yeah, see you
So the other
later.
guy has to walk home by himself. I was like, what? You're not gonna like try to get him in. You're not gonna try to bring him in. I don't know.
Because it even bothered me a little bit in Jackson's trilogy when Gandalf goes to Gondor to research what's going on with the ring, and he just like leaves and he's like, keep it secret, keep it safe. And then they show him showing up at Gondor, and I'm like, I know you've truncated months of travel, but
Yeah.
I didn't, even on the screen, it felt way too rushed to me. Like, I'm like, no, you need to show the scope of Middle Earth.
That part was kind of like I think in defense of that, I think it
understand,
was a side. You needed to move the plot along.
I get it.
Would you like it if they did an entire
Real time.
12 day movie of
I
him
want
just
it in real
going
time.
through the woods?
But you can do a scene of travel or a scene of.
Yeah, no, just a little bit of establishment. Would
I'm
be
not
good.
saying there's a better way for Jackson to have done it on the screen. I'm just saying that having read the book, you're like, it gives you a much kind of just compressed view of what Middle Earth is. Treasure in Heaven is great, but it's not going to buy you a tank of gas. So let's take a moment to briefly review the current state of our economy and the global effect the war between Russia and Ukraine has had. We're in for a tough year here, and Biden's printing and spending could be catastrophic for the US dollar and the market. That's why a growing number of financial analysts are recommending you diversify with gold and silver now. And the only company we recommend is Allegiance Gold. Our friends at Allegiance Gold can help you protect your IRA or 401k with physical gold and silver and have it delivered securely right to your door. The team at Allegiance Gold takes the time to educate their clients on the importance of having a financial portfolio that's diversified with gold and silver. Allegiance Gold has been one of the top precious metals firms in the nation for their commitment to protecting your hard-earned savings. They have an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, a 5-star rating with TrustLink, and they're AAA rated with the Business Consumer Alliance. If you act now by calling them and you mention Babylon Bee, they'll even give you $500 of free silver on a qualified purchase. Call 844-790-9191 to get this exclusive offer. Or you can visit allegiancegold.com/B. That's B-E-E. Call 844-790-9191. That's 844-790-9191. Or visit allegiancegold.com/BEE.
I have some examples of the excellent writing that's on the show. If you give me a second.
All right.
So in the very first episode, do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot?
Yes.
Because a stone sees only downward.
Oh, that's terrible.
I thought that part was, when I watched it, I was like, oh no, this is going to be terrible. That first sequence was awful.
And then we have Fingolfin again.
And I forgot about it.
Or no, Finrod.
Like a dog.
Sometimes we cannot know until we have touched the darkness.
That's so terrible.
Well, that's actually, I think that morally is not what Tolkien would have said. Yeah.
Here's Elrond. Here's the next one.
What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, it's not what Tolkien would have said. Like, I think it's a separation of darkness and light. Anyway, sorry.
We have the scene where Elrond gets all excited because he changed the word of Gil-galad's speech. They made him a communications major, by the way. And so he changes one line from dead animal to spoiled carcass. And he's like, yeah, that was me. Like, I changed that line.
You mean body?
That's how you get introduced to Elrond.
Body positive King Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, he's writing speeches for King Steve. Here we have
I'm
Elrond.
not being super well versed in the Second Age. Is there any truth to that? Like, was he writing speeches for?
It's all made up. It's not.
Well, they made him into a politician, which I think is, I mean, that's not a bad read. Like, Elrond could have been anything, but in order to become the king of Rivendell, King Elrond, he probably would have had to go up through the political system. That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
And he would politically scheme to get rid of Galadriel, and that's getting into the Tolkien.
Well, and he probably would have gone to Rivendell University and studied PR or something. I don't know.
Give a speech in front of some Marines and like bang on the.
Here's Gil-galad. He says, "For the same wind that seeks to blow out a fire may also cause it to spread."
Yeah, see, these are all just like relativistic sort of, modern morality being thrust into this world, and that bothers me.
I need to go read some Tolkien to cleanse the palate.
Yeah.
It's not high prose for sure.
Okay.
Dude, I was just reading.
Here's the last one. I'll do one more.
I'm going to bring this up.
This is in episode 2, Elrond. Where there is love, it is truly never dark.
Yeah,
It's like, and some of it, it's like, okay, you could see maybe what they're trying to say, but it's just so clumsy.
Yeah. But what do you... You're comparing it to Tolkien.
Exactly, because there's a Tolkien on it.
I know, but how are you going to... What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? Like, you can't resurrect Tolkien from the dead.
Don't do it. Make your own universe.
Yeah, but luckily Tolkien wrote down everything that he thought, like he wrote a lot. I like this.
So just transcribe all the other Tolkien writings and just make an entire script out of that.
I would sum up everything I think about it in that we've had 2 hours of show and 4 subplots, and I don't care about any of the characters.
That's
I like Durin and Disa because So the biggest problem is that
You like the black character.
It tells
Deesa's
you
actually great.
all the dialogue in the show so far. It tells you that they're friends. It tells you that they're romantic. It tells you that
It's
whatever.
exposition.
It doesn't show you anything except the one scene where you see Doran and Disa. You see their family life. You see something finally, and that's after 2 hours. And I don't care about anything else in the show.
Can I read this because it's really great? It's something that one of our friends that is a Tolkien expert, like Tolkien Lewis expert. She wrote.
Diana Glyer. She's been on this show before.
Yeah, she has been on the show. So what? And she did not write this. Is by Michael
quoting
Trout,
someone, yeah.
quoting someone. She says, "What makes Tolkien's work unique is the moral heart of his story and the consistency with which he maintains it." Rather than reveling in the acquisition and exercise of power, The Lord of the Rings celebrates its renunciation, insisting that the domination of others is always morally wrong. Tolkien is utterly consistent with this morality, even at the expense of his most cherished characters. Frodo has no other choice than to use the ring of power to dominate Gollum, but he still pays for the immoral act when he is unable to complete his quest or to enjoy his life afterwards. Can a company as intent upon domination as Amazon really understand this perspective and adapt that morality to the screen? And I think this is what we're running into. It's a morality issue. They don't understand it.
I'm still partially expecting this entirely to derail. I think possibly I was just taken aback because I was fully expecting to absolutely hate it. And possibly just that lack of not hating it is I mean, that's the biggest issue. So I fully expect it to get worse. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
So I'll say also in response to, I was saying like, well, that's not Tolkien. And you're like, well, they don't have dialogue from Tolkien. And I do understand that this is a different challenge than making Lord of the Rings. And while the Hobbit movies are terrible, they're terrible in a different way because they had the script. They could have just made The Hobbit.
See, that's the thing. It's oddly enough, I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed the Hobbit movies.
Because it's probably a better show, in some ways, just because The Hobbit was so bad on so many levels. And it had the added wound of they could have just done this.
Exactly.
there was.
I never even finished the Hobbit trilogy. I haven't seen the third movie.
It's not worth watching. I mean,
Well, the end
The
is
Battle
just
of Five
nothing.
Armies.
It's
That
just
is-
nothing. The Battle of Five
that
Armies.
is
and
like
that's
a few pages in
it's
the
a
book.
similar writing.
Although
what's,
my
what's
kids
the
like
line
it.
when the dwarf is dying and the girl made up girl elf? She goes, "What does she say, Dan? I'm blanking."
I don't know, and I don't
she
care to
says-
remember.
No, you wouldn't have seen it. It's in the third
Okay,
movie.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes, "Why does it hurt so much?"
Because your finger is broken.
Your finger's broken.
Why does it hurt so much? Because it was real. So bad. Like, why? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so don't watch The Rings of Power.
No.
Hopefully,
I like it.
Don't watch it. And we are now going to talk about the Babylon Bee Guide to Democracy. So this is a book that has just come out that we've written. This is the second book in our series and the fourth Babylon Bee book. We had the Babylon Bee's How to Be a Perfect Christian. We had the Sacred Text of the Babylon Bee Guide to Wokeness, and now the Babylon Bee Guide to Democracy. So this is part of our guide series where we write these kind of satirical how-to guides, and we stuff them with illustrations, graphics, stick figures, etc. These are like the For Dummies series, but satirical.
But for smarties instead.
And with way better pictures. On page 94 of this book, we talk about borking.
Let's all go to page 9.
Named after Robert Bork, the Supreme Court Justice, who was...
So Borking nominated. Oh, so Reagan nominated Bork, and they dug up stuff on him to get him politically canceled or whatever, right? So
Political assassination.
Political assassination. So borking is now the term. So on page 94, we have an interactive feature where you can generate your own reasons to bork someone.
All perfectly valid and all more
Yeah.
reasonable than actual reasons that real Supreme Court Justice nominees have been borked.
All right, so we're going to flip. Now let's each flip 3 coins on our page, and those will be your 3 reasons for borking.
Okay,
Are you
wait.
flipping onto my page?
Like drop it or flip it?
Yeah, drop it, flip it, whatever. Okay. All right, this has a name that rhymes with Ken Rapiro.
Oh,
That's
who
a good
might that
reason.
be?
Oh.
Once waved at the person behind you and made you look like an idiot when you waved back.
I would bork someone for that.
And uses talk to text in public.
Who flipped
Jared.
that one?
I just got borked.
Look at the camera and say, "I've been borked."
I've been borked.
All right, Kyle,
And
here you go.
we need a sad.
this is not working.
Some of them might land on the same ones because
All right.
It landed on this
it
one.
landed. Okay, wherever it landed.
Kyle is being borked for the
no.
following reasons. He thinks IPAs taste good.
This is true.
Wow.
He ruins cookies by adding raisins to them.
No, but it's a lie. So go ahead.
And finally, Kyle is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I do have a similarity, maybe.
There is some similarities. All right.
All right, now so we've borked Jarrett, we've borked me. Now we're gonna bork Brandon here.
Brandon. Oh, that looks like it's here.
Okay.
Okay. Waves goodbye on Zoom calls.
I do that
Do you?
to my nieces and nephews.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's acceptable.
Under 5'9".
I could be
Yeah.
with a little
you're-
shirt.
And is a vegan.
Oh, that's heresy.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But you're getting borked, so it's lies. Like it could just be
Exactly.
lies. Yeah.
Right.
We know that's not true for Brandon.
All right, so now we need to flip coins on a dance page.
Okay.
Daniel. Here you go.
Oh, I hit it here.
Hold it flat. Hold it flat.
I'm trying.
Here, I'll just use a pen.
Right here.
We didn't
Ready?
we didn't think this through. You missed the entire book.
I missed it.
All right. Drive slowly in the left lane. Once waved to the person behind you and made you look like you were an idiot when you waved back. And 2 black.
Dan,
All true.
Dan is $2. All right, we also have a mudslinging generator on page 148, so we can generate some mud. I just rolled 4d12 on my phone, and here we have. This is an insult that I can use on my opponent in a political race. So, hey, Brandon,
Yes.
you're a philandering, gun-toting Italian cheese bag. Would you like to roll?
I like the Italian with the cheese bag.
So now he's going to get back
Is that
at
like a bag of Italian cheese?
I would order an Italian cheese bag.
Kyle, you cheating, commie loving, greasy. I can't say that word, so I'll use the next one. Soldier.
Wait, what was it?
Number 4.
You'll have to buy the book to find out what it was.
I know what that is.
All right.
All right, Dan.
I'll roll one here and see what I get.
So we've got a debate, Dan against Jarrett to see
Jarrett.
who gets elected. And
Okay.
You are a highfalutin, four-eyed, sizzly square.
Sizzler Square.
all right,
All right, let's see. Okay, Dan.
Uh-oh.
You are a cheating, puppy hating, Italian juggalo.
I'm voting for Jarrett. I'm voting for
Jarrett
Jarrett.
definitely had the best.
There you go. Was this inspired by the Trump nickname,
Well,
like Sleepy Joe?
No, this
and-
was inspired by Lion Dogface Pony Soldier,
Oh,
of
that's
which we
right.
actually have an illustration of the Lion Dogface Pony Soldier. In here.
that. Look at that lion.
All right, let's do one more, and then I have to
Lovingly
leave.
rendered by Bettina.
Yes, that's right, Bettina. Yeah.
Okay, so this is where you can generate your own bureaucratic agency from the government. So one of the alphabet agencies like CIA.
What page is this on?
This is on page 72.
72.
All right, first letter of the last thing I ate. I had a protein drink. So first letter of your mama's name. Okay. Last person you texted was Kirk Cameron.
Oh,
It's actually true.
Well, it's true.
drop something.
Name
Strange
drop.
enough,
Name,
that's
sorry.
true. They were talking.
I
He goes,
did that.
Kirk Cameron's texting me.
Can you give me a random letter, Jarrett?
F.
You're supposed to ask a friend. Oh, wait.
Oh, I'm sad.
Oh, God.
The cozy office of rowdy homosexuals.
Oh, the rowdy ones. Specifically, of the rowdy
It's a cozy office, but those homosexuals,
They're super rowdy.
They're rowdy. I wouldn't be surprised if our government was actually funding this, but. Dan, did you get one?
Oh, I just closed it. 72. 72.
First letter of the last thing I ate was brisket. First letter of my mom's name, K. Last person I texted, Bed Bath & Beyond, apparently.
Why did you text Bed Bath?
They texted me. But, and ask a friend for a random letter. Jarrett, you are my friend.
J.
Okay. All right. The National Interest Group of Mandalorian Pollution.
Love it.
All right, Dan.
So first letter of last thing you ate. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The federal base. Sorry.
I already like it.
A furtive. Jarrett, Give me a letter.
M.
He's everybody's friend.
I thought it was going to be
The
further.
federal base of furtive drone strikes.
Drone strikes.
All right, let's see. The last thing I ate was the Jennifer Aniston salad. Let's see.
Wait, should we back up and dwell on that for a second? Like,
All right, so okay, so my mother's name is Orinda. Oh, I like this. And then S. Let's see. And give me a
Z.
Z. Okay, great. Okay, so this is the reprehensible dance troupe of hold on. Flavorful, and then you said Z. Doom. Yeah.
Doom is like my favorite one.
The reprehensible
Like
dance troupe.
flavorless Doom, but I prefer
Flavorful.
flavorful.
That's the best kind of Doom.
Flavorful Doom. Yeah. The reprehensible dance troupe.
There's a lot of awesome stuff in this book, some great illustrations. I actually have to go because I'm going to go be on the Adam Carolla show right now.
But you dropped something else right there.
A second
another
name.
name.
It's landed on top of Court Cameron's name. So these guys are going to keep talking about the book, and we're going to ask Dan questions that he wrote from the book, which will be fun.
Wow. Excellent.
But I'll see you guys next week, and these guys will finish things out for me.
The last couple of years have proven that we need to be prepared. So we constantly see government overreach, attacks on our communication and energy grid, worldwide conflict, natural disasters, and never-ending assaults on our security and privacy. Having reliable communication is essential. Don't get caught without reliable communication. And I'm here to tell you, your fragile cell phone simply won't cut it. That's why we've partnered with the Satellite Phone Store, so you can stay prepared and ensure your vital communication stays private. They're one of America's largest satellite telecom companies with thousands of happy, well-prepared customers. For a limited time, Satellite Phone Store has a special promotional offer when you go to sat123.com/B. Get a free bivvy stick and unlimited satellite text for only $50.99 plus tax per month with an annual agreement. Go to sat123.com/B. That's sat123.com/.
Whoa, Kyle. Suddenly you've become much more handsome.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the jaw.
Yeah.
Look at this beard.
I know.
Got a nice hairline.
I'm
I've been
appreciating
working
Kyle 3.0.
He has been working out. I could tell. I can tell.
So we
Yeah.
wanted to talk to Dan because he wrote some of these amazing questions that we have at the end of every chapter. At the end of every chapter, we wanted to make it like it was like a Bible study book or like a devotional book that always asks questions.
Yeah, your discussion questions.
Discussion questions, essentially to get your group to discuss the important things in life. And so we have some questions like, at the end of executive branch, which president is on the $100 bill? Jarrett?
That's Thomas Jefferson.
And can you find the bureaucracy in your life? Ask God to break those chains right now. But we also added these questions that Dan wrote, one question for every chapter, which I think it just ties it in and brings a little levity to the book, such as President Thomas Jefferson was so concerned about going beyond his delegated powers that when confronted with attacks by Barbary pirates, he said he could not go beyond the line of defense and asked Congress to authorize any actions of war. In this same noble spirit, President Barack Obama once bragged, "We are not just going to be waiting for legislation. I've got a pen and I've got a phone, and I can use that pen to sign executive orders. If you were president, what would be your favorite power that is found nowhere in the Constitution?"
I try to keep it short, punchy.
Yeah.
What I really like about it is that
Flying.
like a lot of the other text in the book is so self-serious, and like we were just really wanted to inform people about how democracy works, and so that like really brings
Some levity.
the jokes to it. I mean, because we
Yeah.
are the Babylon Bee, we need to have something,
something in there.
something
Some
light,
jokes.
something
funny.
a little funny, and that people can
Yeah.
not
People
take
could
so seriously.
Chuckle. A little chuckle.
At the end of
I like
chapter 9,
My favorite questions are like where it's the big block and then it asks a very serious question. And then there's like, in the space below that's provided, please write, what do you think? And then there's like a little line, just a little tiny line.
That's right.
It's so good.
Like
here's
the
a
end of
joke
the-
that I really appreciated that you wrote. At the end of chapter 9, it says, we're doing a Jefferson one again. Thomas Jefferson once said, "The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is its natural manure." This sort of revolutionary spirit seemed to kindle in the reign of terror of France. against which Edmund Burke took his pen, warning, rage and frenzy will pull down more in this half hour than prudence, deliberation, and foresight can build up in 100 years, while suggesting a state without the means of some change is without the means of its conservation. In the space provided, please analyze the parable of G.K. Chesterton's fence and ask yourself if some abstract rights of man promoted by the likes of Thomas Paine are correct foundation for a stable system of government. That's so funny.
It's so deep.
I mean, I was like,
Yeah.
it's so
Hilarious.
brief, yet there's so much hilarity contained within that little.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
That's a great
That's
joke.
what I was going for.
Really good joke.
So I really appreciate that. Is there any particular ones that you're proud of?
I have some that I'd like to contribute, if that's okay. The corporate branch. This would be chapter 6. Yeah, chapter 6. The first question is, do you welcome our corporate overlords? And remember, Alexa is always listening. And we have a couple lines there. I think very serious too. Will you commit in this very moment to bow to Mickey Mouse? You know, like those are honest questions.
I do.
Yeah.
I did.
Did you receive?
And I will.
Did you receive Mickey Mouse into your heart?
Unfortunately, yes. No.
Did he choose you, or did you choose
Or did you
Mickey
choose
Mouse?
him? Are you a Calvinist or an Arminian?
Or an Armician.
An Arminian. Nice. That was really good.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Those questions, just make them punchy, short.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to think too deeply about anything.
I really think you captured that. Tolkien would be proud.
Yeah.
He would be as proud as the writers of the Rings of Power.
Brevity. Brevity is what we're going for.
All right, guys. You want to move into our hate mail?
I think we
Let's
could do
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's enough of the book. Everyone, go buy the Babylon Bee Guide to Democracy. It is available now. So go get it. It's great.
It's my favorite book.
There's those games. There's those questions. There's just tons of
Pictures.
stuff.
Tons of pictures.
It's really a good book.
If you
We
could
put
add
a lot
one
of
book
work
to the
into it.
Bible,
Maybe that one.
Maybe.
I mean, that's
Maybe.
it.
It's up
it
there.
is.
I really miss Adam Ford.
So we got a comment on the. We released a video of the exclusive scene from the Rings of Power. We got it before the show even came out.
That's right.
And we had a comment here from Tom Wade that Amazon Rings of Power series will never be nearly as annoying as seeing those whiny
Porpoises.
the Babylon Bee complain without ceasing about something they have not watched.
You know, it's interesting that he said that because I don't know that we'd complained at all up until this point.
Like, we just released the clip from the show. Like,
We just saw, and that handsome. There was a handsome like Gondorian,
Less than average.
and he had really
Subpar.
nice hair. I just thought the guy.
I thought you guys got the same actor from Aragorn. Like, I'm like, how did Aragorn get in this
He
show?
was like, you know,
Broke his toe while kicking a
Amazing.
helmet.
Yeah.
it's just incredible.
So,
So, something they have not watched. Dan, have you watched it?
I've watched every second of
And
the
will you
Rings of
continue to
Power.
complain without ceasing?
I now have earned the right to complain without ceasing.
Yeah, I like it.
I will complain periodically until the show progresses further into chaos, and then I might join you in complaining
Okay.
ceaselessly. We'll
Yeah,
see.
it's one of those. I'm not even cautiously optimistic. I'm just cautious. I'm liking it so far, so we'll see what happens.
I am too, but
yeah.
I reserve the right to change my mind.
Yeah,
and I
like that.
I have the feeling that I'll end up eventually hating it too.
But it
Well,
will
well,
continue to be beautiful.
We'll talk about it more in the subscriber lounge. We'll get into more in-depth discussion of the Rings of Power in the subscriber lounge.
if you didn't get enough of it, in
If
the
you didn't get
normal-
enough of that, yeah. So coming up for subscribers, if you are subscribed to the Babylon Bee, you get bonus hate mail.
Bonus
you get
hate mail. Awesome.
subscriber headlines.
Wow, subscriber headlines.
And we asked Jarrett the second set of 10 questions.
Wow.
So here we go.
Coming up next for Babylon Bee.
We're doing it to mock the evils of the world.
Your hate mail of the week is directly quoting scripture. It seemed very arrogant to dismiss his concern in this matter.
I think that was referencing the men not wearing women's clothes. I agree with the sentiment, but we're doing it to mock the evils of the world.
Well, and also dressing like a woman is funny.
That's in the Bible. Don't do this unless it's funny.
Unless it's funny.
Right. There's a clause.
This has been another edition of the Bee Weekly from the dedicated team of certified fake news journalists you can trust here at the Babylon Bee. Reminding you that someone out there knows something about Carmen, and we're going to find them.